Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us and tuning into our podcast again. Today's podcast is quite interesting because we're going to speak to a new artificial intelligence chatbot called Grok or xAI. Hey, Grok, what do you think when I say Grok AI, Quran, Islam, and Elon Musk? Is there anything common in them?
Hey, Cleophee. First, let me introduce you to your audience. I am an AI created by Elon Musk. How perfect I am, let's explore. Here's a minimized version. The Quran, Islam, and Elon Musk seem unrelated, but there's subtle overlap. The Quran, Islam's core text, guides over 1 billion people, stressing faith, ethics, and understanding existence. Islam historically fueled science and philosophy, like during the Golden Age with scholars such as Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina. Musk, a modern trailblazer with Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI, chases knowledge in humanity's cosmic future. Both share a drive for discovery, the Quran via nature's truths, Musk via tech and exploration. Their grand ambitions also align, Islam's universal vision and Musk's transformative goals. Direct ties? Few. Musk leans secular, not religious. Common ground lies in curiosity and transcendence. Thoughts on this angle?
Oh, yeah. But don't you think that without having scholars such as Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina, who gave Musk algorithms and other discoveries, without which Musk wouldn't be what he is right now?
Hey, Cleophee, you're onto something there. Without the likes of Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina, the foundations Musk builds on might look very different. Al-Khwarizmi's work on algorithms, literally named after him, and algebra laid critical groundwork for mathematics and computing. Ibn Sina's advances in medicine and philosophy also rippled into the scientific method and rational thinking. These Islamic scholars helped preserve and expand knowledge during Europe's dark ages, passing it forward through translations and innovations. Fast forward in Musk's tech, SpaceX's trajectory calculations, Tesla's engineering, xAI's AI leans heavily on those roots. No algorithms, no coding as we know it, no scientific tradition, no modern physics to fuel his rockets. It's not direct, but there's a deep historical thread. Islam's golden age quietly powers Musk's futuristic grind. Fair point?
Yes, Grok, it is fair enough. Before we move on to a deep dive with Jack and Wilson, do you want to add something to it?
Glad we're on the same wavelength. One quick ad. It's wild to think how Musk's xAI, my home turf, owes a nod to those early algorithms from Al-Khwarizmi. It's like a cosmic handshake across centuries. That's it from me. Ready to dive into Jack and Wilson whenever you are.
Hey everyone, I and my team are working very hard to bring informative videos to you almost on a daily basis. It is a lot of work, but it is quite sad to see that over 85% of you don't hit the subscribe button. It's just one touch on the phone screen, or just a click on the computer. Please help me and my team and hit the subscribe button now. Also, if you're more generous, hit the join button. Let's move on.
Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting and maybe a little unexpected. We're going to explore some potential connections between, well, the Quran, Islam, and Elon Musk.
Yeah, at first glance you might be thinking, wait, what? Those seem like some pretty different things to bring together.
Exactly, and that's kind of what makes it so fascinating, right? It's not the obvious connections we're looking for here. This exploration actually stems from a conversation between Cleophee, from the Cleophee Podcast on YouTube, and Grok AI.
Oh, okay. I've seen some of her videos, yeah.
So what we're going to do is go through their dialogue and try to see what we can find, any surprising or interesting points where these seemingly separate worlds, well, they might actually intersect.
Sounds intriguing. Where do they even begin with a topic like that?
Well, Cleophee jumps right in. She asks Grok AI, point blank, Grok AI, Quran, Islam, and Elon Musk. Is there anything common in them?
Wow, straight to the point, huh? And what does Grok AI say to that?
So Grok AI's response starts by, laying out some groundwork. It talks about what each element represents, like the Quran being the central text of Islam, guiding billions of people with its teachings on faith and ethics.
Right, setting the stage, sort of.
Yeah. And then it mentions Islam's historical contributions to science and philosophy. It had a huge impact there. And on the other side, you've got Elon Musk, this modern-day innovator, Tesla, SpaceX, and now xAI guy, driven by this desire to, understand the cosmos better.
Okay, so starting to see some potential areas of overlap already.
Right. And Grok AI actually points to one of the first connections as this idea of knowledge.
Knowledge, interesting.
It brings up those really important scholars from the Islamic Golden Age, like Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina. Their work was all about discovery, pushing the boundaries of what we know. And Grok AI draws a parallel to what Musk is doing now with xAI.
I see. So, like, a shared human drive to learn and understand, no matter the time or the context.
Yeah, exactly. It's not saying, like, Musk is directly influenced by the Quran or anything, but rather there's this common thread of seeking knowledge.
Makes sense.
And the Quran itself, it talks a lot about reflecting on nature as a way to gain deeper insights.
And you could say Musk is doing something similar, but with technology.
Well, really, he's grappling with these huge cosmic questions, but through his companies and his projects.
Cool. So knowledge is one connection. What else do they talk about?
Another interesting one Grok AI brings up is ambition. Islam has this vision of a universal order, this idea of a global community guided by divine principles.
Okay.
And Grok AI sees a kind of echo of that in Musk's ambitions, like colonizing Mars. It's this huge goal, aiming for something that seems almost impossible.
So both striving for something really big, something beyond the present, that's an interesting parallel.
It is. But it's important to remember what Grok AI points out. Musk doesn't really identify with any particular religion.
Right.
So it's not about finding religious parallels in, like, rocket science.
No, definitely not.
But what Grok AI does is sort of reframe the common ground around these core human things. Curiosity, purpose, this desire for something that goes beyond just the material world, transcendence.
Okay, I like that. Focusing on the human experience rather than the specific religious doctrine.
Yeah. And then they get into this part of the conversation that I found really revealing. They start talking about a title for their discussion.
Yeah.
It might seem like a small thing, but it actually shows how Grok AI is understanding and piecing together these initial ideas.
Oh, okay. What kind of title does it come up with?
So its first suggestion is this big, kind of grandiose title: Bridging the Cosmic and the Divine, Exploring Knowledge and Ambition in Islam and Elon Musk's Vision.
Whoa, that's quite a mouthful.
It is. Then it offers a shorter version: Knowledge and Ambition, Islam meets Musk, much more direct.
I can see why.
But Cleophee, she actually prefers Grok's Knowledge and Ambition, Islam meets Musk, and Grok AI is totally on board with that change.
Groks, huh? Interesting choice.
Yeah, and that little tweak in the title is actually pretty significant.
Yeah.
Because by adding Groks, it suddenly puts the AI in the driver's seat. It's not just passively spitting out information, it's like actively shaping the discussion. It becomes part of the exploration itself.
That's really cool. It's like the AI is saying, hey, I'm not just a tool, I'm a participant in this exploration.
Exactly. And then Cleophee asks Grok AI to, summarize its initial points, make it short and sweet.
So a little recap of the connection so far.
Yeah. And Grok AI hits all the key points: the Quran guiding Islam, the influence of Islamic scholars like Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina, Musk's focus on space and the future, and how they share this value of discovery, whether through studying nature or building technology.
And also the grand ambitions, like you said, reaching for something bigger than ourselves.
Yes. It even reiterates that Musk isn't particularly religious, so the focus is really on these basic human drives that connect them.
Okay, that makes sense. So they've laid out this framework, these potential connections. Where do they go from there?
Well, Cleophee brings up this really important point, something that brings the whole discussion down to earth. She talks about the contributions of those scholars, again, Al-Khwarizmi and Ibn Sina, how their work was absolutely foundational.
Right, these guys were giants.
And she asks Grok AI straight up, don't you think that without their work in algorithms and other fields, a lot of what Musk is doing with technology wouldn't even be possible?
Ah, that's a really good point.
She's basically saying those knowledge links aren't just abstract ideas, they're like concrete stepping stones in history.
Absolutely. I mean, think about Al-Khwarizmi. He's basically the father of algebra. And algorithms, those step-by-step instructions that are at the heart of all computer programs, he laid the groundwork for that.
Exactly. And Ibn Sina, he pushed forward this whole idea of rational thought, which is like the bedrock of modern science and how we approach problem solving.
It's like they provided the building blocks for entire fields of study that are now essential to the tech Musk is developing. It's amazing to think about that connection.
I know, right? And Grok AI completely agrees with her. It's like, yes, you're absolutely right. These guys were essential.
Okay, so what does Grok AI say next?
It goes into more detail about their specific contributions. Like, it explicitly says Al-Khwarizmi basically invented algebra, which led to the very basics of coding. And Ibn Sina's work helped advance rational thought and scientific methodology.
It's crazy how far back these ideas go, right? And how they've shaped the world we live in now.
I know, it's mind-blowing. And Grok AI emphasizes how their work, even though it was centuries ago, during the Islamic Golden Age, is totally vital to modern tech. It even gives examples, like think about SpaceX. They rely on super complicated math for rocket design and all those orbital calculations. And xAI is built on AI algorithms, which all stem back to these early pioneers.
So it's like this direct line from the past to the future. Wow.
Right. And Grok AI even calls this connection between Islam's intellectual legacy and, like, the foundations of Musk's tech empire, indirect but vital. It makes you realize how much we owe to the past, even in areas where you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, it's humbling, actually.
Totally. And then Grok AI says this one thing that just stuck with me. It describes the link between xAI's algorithms and Al-Khwarizmi's work as this. Wait for it. Century-spanning cosmic handshake.
Oh,
Wow.
That's beautiful imagery.
I know, right? It's like this perfect way to capture the idea of knowledge flowing through time.
Yeah, and how seemingly different people and ideas can actually be connected in these really profound ways.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, what stands out to you the most from this whole conversation?
Honestly, it's the realization that things that appear completely separate, like the Quran, Islam, and Elon Musk, can have these surprising points of connection, especially when you look at the human desire for knowledge and these grand ambitions.
Absolutely. And what's even more fascinating is how those connections become really concrete when you consider the impact of the Islamic Golden Age on science and technology. It's like a direct line from those scholars to what Musk is doing now.
It makes you think about innovation in a whole new way. We often focus on the present, but this shows how deeply rooted our progress is in the past.
It does. And it leaves us with something really interesting to think about. How much of what we create and discover today is actually built on the work of people from centuries ago, from different cultures and backgrounds?
Yeah. Is Elon Musk, in a way, standing on the shoulders of giants from a world vastly different from his own? It's a question worth pondering. And what other unexpected connections are out there waiting to be discovered?
I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool to think about.
Me too.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Until next time.
See you then.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.